Okay, welcome back to the YouTube channel again and the Source Financial YouTube channel. I'm not the host, I'm the intern taking over Rico's duties, but as he always says, he's the host of the Made in China podcast and the host of the Source Financial YouTube channel. And we're joined here by Fabiola and Rochelle, Global Friendships. And I guess I came first across when I learned about Guangzhou and coming here. Mm-hmm. I had looked into, expat communities and organizations that kind of help with that kind of thing. And I actually came across your organization through, several different Facebook groups. And then when I got here, I knew about you guys, but then Rico told me about you guys. So I ended up coming to one of your events and meeting you guys and kind of learning about what you do that way. Yeah. But maybe you can start off by telling me, when you meet someone in a social setting outside of China or Asia, what do you tell them what you do? Like, how do you explain what you do?
Yeah, good question. Yeah. Who wants to
I could jump in. So we would really, what I would say is just that if you are looking for a community that connects with the locals as well as other foreigners in a city, so cross-cultural communication, multicultural and diverse, and that's what you would get with us. So it's a lot of social events and workshops and providing services. So it's a lot of fun, but also about making your life in China manageable and better, so you feel good about, your stay and living in a foreign land when you don't have your family or friends with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say I think we are actually a very different group. Mm-hmm. Like, we definitely started with not trying to aim for we want to be like that group. It was literally us coming from Canada and feeling like there's something missing here.
Yeah.
And the missing was there were events going on, right? But there were not events going on that when you're here as an expat, how are we living here and how do we grow here? And that is, I think GF provides that, because that is why we started GF, because we wanted to continue to grow in China. We didn't want to stay in a teacher's bubble or in a foreign bubble or in a Canadian bubble, and we just wanted to continue to seek the opportunities. And I think with GF, you can get those opportunities because we just keep growing.
Yeah. And I guess, so take me back, how did you guys come to China and how did you guys meet and come up with the concept of Global Friendships?
Right. And I guess I'll talk a little bit more about that, because it was I've been here 7 years and Rochelle 4.5.
Yeah.
So I came here initially with at the time, not my husband, but I came together with my partner.
Yeah.
And we literally came for a year and we're just let's see, just an adventure kind of thing. And then being here and seeing that there's opportunities, then I told Rochelle and I was you need to come. It's so good. I wish a lot of my good friends, more good friends came, but Rochelle actually took it on. Yeah. She wanted to go to Costa Rica.
I burnt out. I'm a social worker back home. So I was working with homeless and at-risk youth for 2.5 years after graduating. And I burnt out, wasn't really happy, and I wanted a change. I wanted to just do something for a little bit of travel, get away. And it was Central America I was eyeing for a bit, but Fabs was very pushy about China. I wasn't sure why. But I went and I loved it. And originally it was supposed to be 6 months.
Yeah.
And I think this is a story for many foreigners that come. It's like only this much, and then you stay longer. And it's been 4.5 years of living here.
Yeah, and she even like came and had gotten like she had been accepted to her master's, but she came. She was like, "I'm just gonna do it for 6 months." I'm like, "All right." She comes and then it's like literally. We always say like the first 6 months is when you're adjusting, and then after that 6 months when you actually start to love China. And so then she literally like deferred it.
Yeah.
Right?
So I got into McGill and they allowed me to defer. And so I stayed 1.5 years and left to do my master's and then I came straight back. So it's 4.5 years, but not consistently. But I'm happy to have left to continue pursuing my goals and then coming back and doing additional with more education and more expertise to contribute.
Okay. And then Global Friendship started
5 years ago. So it was before Rochelle left.
Yeah.
Wow. So it was the first. So actually, literally, like, if you talk about literally how it happened, it was we all lived together. So Rochelle, me, and my husband, and we lived in Bayonne at the time.
Okay.
And we had this nice house and everything. We used to have a lot of people always coming over.
Yeah.
We used to play a lot of TED Talks or like videos, and like we were just always playing videos. And one of these nights, actually, my husband's family had come. Okay. And so they were in the kitchen, like dining room. I definitely remember, like, they were just talking in Polish, whatever. I was preparing for my lesson for, like, the next day, and it was about art. And I put on a TED Talk, because we used to watch TED. Yeah. And this one was, Can Art Change the World?
Okay.
And literally we watched it, and it was like JR, who's a French graffiti artist, and he was just like, you can do it too. You can do it in your community. And we're like, yes, we can. Yeah. And so we basically, right after that TED Talk, we're just like, like we can create something. Like, because we had created a community. Right. Without knowing we had created it. You know, like especially Wukesh and I, who had been here for like 2 years before you had. Mm-hmm. And then I had brought my cousin as well. There was another chick from Ottawa that we had brought. And like, it was like, damn, we're really connecting people, you know? Yeah. And then our house was kind of a hostel. We would come in and out. And so with this TED Talk, it was just like, how do we organize it? How do we like put actually a title to it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I remember just being like, we're global friends, or global friendship. Mm-hmm. Nice. And then Rochelle wrote, which I think that is the statement. But basically, she wrote like a statement about global friendships. Right. Like,
despite borders or boundaries or countries or nationalities, like we all want love and respect, and we're here in Guangzhou, and like those things don't matter. It's just like that human connection and that support. And really, it came from a TED Talk, and from there, it was like initially arts, like taking a black and white portrait. Yeah. So the TED Talk is take a black and white portrait of something you are celebrating in your community or wanted to bring awareness about. And we wanted to celebrate global friends, multiculturalism in China, that connection. And so what you would do based on the TED Talk is post these photos of people that also believe in it somewhere in your community, but you can't really do that. So we made T-shirts with black and white portraits.
Yeah, it was like mobile art. Right. Because everybody had their own T-shirt. And back then, honestly, there were not a lot of groups in Guangzhou of like internationalism and like exchanging and stuff. And I think I don't want to like say that we are the ones who started that, but I think with a community feel, then other things start to come out. Yeah. And I think with Rochelle and I, it's like we always understood community. We're not just saying community because that's the word to say. It's like our backgrounds, what we did in Canada was always community. And we understand when there's a community fair. We understand when like you get together, more things can happen. If you want change, you need to be together and strive for that, goal, right? It can't be working against each other, especially when you're doing causes that are not bringing money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you working against each other? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I think we always understood that from the beginning.
Yeah. And it isn't like buzzwords or trending words, but we do like it's, I think in our DNA in terms of like Fab safe criminology, and I did social work and just work we were doing back home and just bringing that, and also just being Canadian and appreciating diversity and that collective mentality, I would say, are values that we use and like utilize in GF and
definitely.
With our partner Patrick, who's also local, but has similar values, and together collectively we've been able to create that through the platform.
And actually that has helped a lot being Canadian.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Because as a Canadian, like, I remember we introduced one time, we were at an event, and we were like, GF and being like diverse. Like, you can see our core value, number one is diversity. Like, is actually the most important thing for us, because we're not here to just be like, this is a group for expats, or this is a group to meet other expats, or this is a group to just meet locals. You know, it's like, it should be continuously vice versa.
Yeah.
And I really believe that diversity comes from Canada.
Okay.
Like, if we were not raised or born in Canada, like, I don't think we would have understood what diversity means, you know?
Yeah.
And I was asked before, like, because we presented one time, like, our presentation about GF and, like, core values and why diversity. And then one of our friends, like, why did you bring up Canada? Like, it has nothing to do with it. I was like, I really do. Like, if I'm being transparent, which is another core value, it really has to do a lot about that. Because with being diverse, it's like you have to always continuously be open.
Yeah.
And being open to us has always helped GF continue to grow. Yeah.
So I know we talked about this before, but you guys are actually running Global Friendship as a business, right?
Right.
So maybe talk to me about that, and talk to me about that process and how it's been. And I remember talking to you earlier, like coming to the realization, like, oh, we need
Yes.
So maybe walk me through that process and how you came about to running it as a business.
Yeah.
That's how actually, like, Patrick has been influential a lot in shifting our mindset into more like business, more sustainable long term.
Okay.
So Patrick is local, he's Cantonese, and we met him in terms of GF time, like third year. Well, you met him third year while I was away. Second year. And then third year more so, like when I came back, kind of working together. And he just helped to bring in the tools and the like thinking of making it more long term. So he introduced that what we're doing is great. What we've created is great. It's this platform, but how can we keep this sustainable? So he suggested membership, like not just letting or doing this for free or like letting and just sharing our contacts and resources, but how about we have members, and those members can access these services and people can have access to these contacts. So we have membership for Global Friendship, so a year or 3 months. And what did you want to say?
No, I wanted to say that, like, when we started this, there was no business aspect to it.
Yeah.
Like, so I think that's important when you're talking about an entrepreneurship story. You know? It's like, as we've mentioned, our education was very much about giving back to the community, right? Like, that is what we were educated to do.
Right.
And we always just knew, like, if you get into this organization, get into this company, you're going to get paid, right?
Right.
And then coming to China and realizing, like, that stays, I mean, education, but then before education, it's your interest. It's like, what do you like? What is it that you actually like to do, right?
Yeah.
And that is why we study what we study, right? I mean, we choose it when we're 17, 18 years old because it's because of our hobbies or whatever. And, like, those were our hobbies. We literally liked to volunteer or, like, communicate with people in community and just like, and so when we came to China, we were just teaching and getting a decent, paycheck and whatever, but it was like, but there's still a lot missing of like, what else can we do? We have more skills to give, right?
Right.
But never, ever does the social work field or does the giving back to the community ever teach you about business?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It doesn't. And so coming to China, we had to learn it all by ourselves. And with Patrick, who is a local, but also had never had his own company, but he just saw like our passion and like we were doing shit just to do it. And then, but then it's so important to understand you cannot just keep giving and giving because that is also not going to be sustainable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think it's so important for people out there to understand that, like, if you want to be social, especially social entrepreneurs, because there's entrepreneurs and there are social entrepreneurs who want to work for a cause. And I think for us, we don't have one primary cause, I would say, but collectively with our members, we can reach so many causes. Women causes, environment causes, poverty, et cetera, et cetera. But together we can do that as a community, not just Rochelle and I, right?
Yeah.
So it's so important to like know, like what, like how to do it, but also understand the business aspect because it can't be sustainable. And then charities like compete against each other and funding this. It's like, how are we working together?
Yeah. So I guess now the business, it's considered a business.
Yes.
Because your members pay every month.
Yes.
And then you get access to the services.
And our events, you pay to the event. If you're a member, it's a member benefit price.
Right.
Yeah. And we also like people to know that we are not a charity.
Yeah.
Because like honestly, I'm not against charities, but it's just like you have to think sustainability.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So how has it been for you two being female entrepreneurs in China and in the space that it is Guangzhou?
Right. For me, like even just calling at the beginning myself an entrepreneur was again just not something I would ascribe to or something.
She walked out the first time. Like
Can I finish?
I know, but sorry, but
I would say my story.
Okay, you're gonna say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, just being Canadian, like in Canada, like social work, helping, like Fabs was saying, charity, and like being an entrepreneur was never on the radar.
Yeah.
So yeah, given that opportunity with Patrick when he suggested and pretty much pitched, let's make this into a business. I was not like it wasn't really sinking in with me. I'm like, no, I'm a social worker, rejecting. That's not.
I
me.
help people
I don't know
because I want to help.
Like I just didn't know how to do that, so I was against it. I was resistant. But yeah, Fab's like, let's try this. Like, why not? Like, we've come this far to just walk away or just doing it out of passion isn't also good for your energy. You don't have, that's why I left Canada. I did something because I love it and then I burnt out. So for me, being an entrepreneur in China has been exciting, has been rewarding. It's difficult, I think, because just resources or just being able to connect with other women, especially in the service industry. So there's not so many people are doing products, but there's not so many service providers. So there's a few of us, at least in Guangzhou, that we talk to and vent, which is important. For myself, a woman of color as an entrepreneur is limited. Like there are others around China that I connect with and speak to, but it's not something I would see in Canada. So it's very exciting being here and seeing, again, diverse people, ethnicities, entrepreneurs, female, male. And it's nice to have that network of women and that network of people of color from many different countries, like just inspiring for me being here, because that isn't what I know, but I've learned to develop and take pride in what we've created and how I'm contributing to Guangzhou, to southern China. So for me, the challenge is being able to balance and just learning and being able to hold that identity. That's more a personal, but I've had like having a team as opposed to being a single entrepreneur has been very helpful for me. And like Patrick and Fabs have been super supportive and pushing, you know, when they have to, you know, coddling when they need to. And it's been nice. For me, it's been a really good experience.
And what about for you?
I think, she pretty much summed it up. And I think definitely we're both from Ottawa.
Yeah.
So our aspirations in Ottawa are usually to be like, get in the government, you know, do that thing. And there's never, I mean, I was never taught to like, as immigrants too, like I'm first generation immigrant child, and it was always like go to school and then life will be better for you.
Yeah.
And then being in Ottawa is just like, okay, and then you go to school and it's like just go to the government or just be a lawyer, and then coming here realizing like oh my gosh, there's like Mexicans who are younger than me and they're entrepreneurs, Nigerians, Nepalese, and I mean that's fucking inspiring because we always hear one story. We hear about the Americans, the British, and Europe, but when you start to hear people that haven't had the opportunities that we had as Canadians, and they're making it here in China, like that's fucking inspiring, and that inspired me. You know, that gave me strength, and I was like. Yeah, and then as a woman, and then I don't know. I'm like sometimes my words, you know. I'm not black, so it's not as hard. But I'm like I've been told like, oh, you're not so pretty because now you're darker or whatever. It's just like at the end of the day, when you like shave off all those, labels or whatever. Yeah. If you really want to do it, if you're working towards that, in China right now, there's opportunity. And like we saw that. Yeah. And we saw that we don't have a product. We don't have a t-shirt that is like fucking buy this t-shirt or go on this, I don't know, like go to this restaurant. Yeah. But we have a product of community, like our service is about community, right? Which is so new in a sense that it's not about like, let's just meet together and let's make friends. It's like, we want to go deep. We want to go to the, like Rochelle has master of social work in here, in the office. And like so many other things that we're bringing into this community. Yeah. Because this is what we like. First, like, we were educated in this, but these are our passions and interests, and we're bringing it here. It's not easy, but we're so much willing to see what happens with it.
And I think just to go back your question about challenges, I think just highlighting that it is hard. It's not easy, but like joining Global Friendship as a member and contributing what you have, like your strengths. Will allow this to grow for everybody. So it's really like the win-win has always been how we do business with other partners, how we want people to think like we can all benefit. It doesn't have to be I gain, you don't gain. There's 1-0. It should be 1-1. How can we both benefit? So we really do, like our mission is building meaningful connections together. And we want our members and we want the entrepreneurs in the community to contribute. So it grows as a collective. Yeah.
Okay. So what have been some of your proudest like entrepreneurial moments or some of the highlights of Global Friendships up till now?
I would say one of them is like going to another city when we didn't know anybody. And it's taken us a year to actually like make connections and show what GF is about. And that has been honestly, when I go, for example, right now, when I go to Shenzhen and I come back, I'm like, I feel it. I feel like GF is there, Whereas when we're here sometimes and like the daily hustle or like everything, like you kind of don't feel it. And maybe sometimes we might even feel like because it's just here, then we don't get that. I don't want to sound like, but it's like you don't feel like you're actually making so much of a difference because we've already been here.
Yeah.
But when you're in a new city and we're like, yes, like I need insurance, or yes, I need like that community support, or I want to volunteer, and it's like we're here and we're providing you these opportunities. That makes us feel. I mean, for me, that really makes me feel like we're breaking through.
I agree with that, especially going to a second city and being able to see people or they've heard of us, like reinforces that at least it's working. That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any one single moment. I think for me, there's a lot of small little victories.
Yeah.
Like one being like we had a coach, like a business coach, Susanna, and she helped us kind of solidify and clarify like our values. Like, what does that even mean as a company? Like, that's we didn't know we needed that. And having our mission statement and our goals for 2025. So really having us work as a team and help kind of give us the big picture, or at least for us to think about our big picture. So for us, like those little milestones with her helped us work more like effectively together and help communication within us internally. So we are a small team of 3, and then we have a full-time staff and IT. So it is a small, and interns. It is a small team, but having our Susanna be part of that and supporting us has been great. So yeah, our vision board, as well as just being at events and being recognized. Yeah. Like last night, our partners, United Family Hospital, had their 1-year anniversary for their hospital. And it was just nice to be there and like having them be happy to see us. And we worked last January with a fair. Yeah. And just like knowing these relationships and where we were even a year before that makes me feel good that like in the community, we are connected with the biggest international hospital in Guangzhou and in Shenzhen. And these are our partners, and just knowing that we've made those grounds and we are continuously growing. So for me, it's like these small victories that I need to remember when it's like hustle's hard.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for Global Friendship? Like, what do you guys see yourself doing in like 5 years from now? Do you guys still see yourself running it in China, or?
I mean, we have a vision board of 2029, so that's 10 years, and so we definitely would like to see GF in all continents, and have at least 10,000 in each continent. Wow. So we've talked about this, and this is I think this is a life goal for us, and just to continue growing it. For me personally, my husband is from Poland. We've bought a house in Poland, and I definitely see myself in Poland in the next 5 years, and trying to grow GF, and trying to grow GF in another, like, tweaking it, because I think that's what it's about. Like, we are a community, so in a community, you have to understand, like, what do people need in that community, right? Yeah. But at the same time, I believe so much in the collectiveness of humanity. Yeah. That together we can make great things happen, bring up like artists out, talk about discussions. Let's talk about the issues that are, present right now. And that's what I see myself doing in Poland in the next 5 years. For myself. Yeah, for myself, I mean, our vision board or like our goals. But for me, I'd also like to, I stay here for a bit. Like, why I did my master's is because it gives me that flexibility to live wherever. Yeah. I think because at least it's recognized. And I want to see more mental health and more services for English speakers in China, because resources are limited right now. But I believe as more people are coming to the GBA area, and as more people are speaking out about their mental health while being away from home, I'd like GF to be more involved with that. So
working alongside hospitals or clinics and doing more around mental health at a professional level as well as for people to access. So spreading GF into other cities as well as strengthening the importance of mental health and mental health services.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be here for a while.
Yeah. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I guess I have just a couple closing questions.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest one is, what's the smallest thing that's had the biggest impact on global friendship or on your entrepreneurial journey?
Smallest thing. I would say for me, like, even though it's small, sometimes it's just like we literally get so excited still when we're like, we have a new member, or like, people said like they had a good time at the event. You know, like those things still impact us a lot because that makes us be like, yes, we're doing something good, you know. And I would, just, I guess, like recognition, like, but in small scale in terms of, like, we're not looking for, because really we're serving our members. So when a member or signs up or they renew their membership or they're like, thank you, GF, because, you know, you helped me that, we're like, yes, this is our mission, you know, and those are, it's small, but it's so impactful for us.
Yeah. I would agree. It's about, like, especially new members are always happy and excited when people do leave our events and like they've met someone that they like just really connected with, like that feels good. That's exactly what we're wanting to do. Yeah. So it just when people just talk with one another or just what we are looking for, those connections, those happy moments after they leave, those, hey, I left feeling really like thinking about stuff, like that's really what we're doing. And those are the stuff that like lights us up and keeps us motivated, I'd say.
Nice. And so for people coming to Guangzhou or to Shenzhen, like what kind of events do you guys run or what kind of services do you guys provide to help those people out?
It's a full list.
Yeah, I know it's a full list, but maybe just briefly.
Yeah. I guess under the we have 4 pillars.
Okay.
So we have this social pillar, and under the social pillar is like networking, foodie events, a foodie, which is like have a dinner together and, you know, you experience it with other people. Social, intercultural exchanges between like Western and the Chinese holidays. So we'll do events surrounding that. So that's under the social. Then we have educational, which goes with workshops. So we have a lot of workshops.
Personal development, professional development, entrepreneur, like opportunities to learn and share. So that's, educational doc nights as well, where we screen something and discuss afterwards.
Or language courses. And then we'll have the community development, that's our charity kind of volunteering sector. So if you want to volunteer in China, you can come to us. And we don't actually just... like we try to get you involved with other things. Like if you want to go into an orphanage, we don't do it, but we can connect you to those who are doing that or seniors. For us, we mainly have been involved with a community in Guizhou, which is another province here. And we've been going there for 5 years to volunteer, and we've organized it. We have our Big Brother and Sister program. So similar to things like in Canada, a Big Brother and Sister, just, you know, you have to adjust it here in China. And then we have our 4th pillar, which is the services, which is actually, we're going to be starting a series of every month, have some of our partners from our services. So legal, lawyer, legal, visa electronic fixing, medical, and they will come and meet our members at a restaurant, and they can have like free consultation. So that's sort of an event, but it's more for your life services.
Cool. And would you say the majority of your members are expats or local residents, or
Right now it's like 60% local, expats, and 40% locals.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we do, like Fab said earlier, not want to just cater to foreigners or just cater to local, but have a mix. So, I mean, for the services, a lot more expats that need it or ask for it, but like the locals like our services and our events as well. So it is trying to just balance and get everyone. We would like it half and half, but for now, it's actually a pretty good good mix. Yeah,
nice. Okay, so Rico always closes it with what are 3 books, podcasts, or YouTube channel or
that
TV show that like can tell us more about who you guys are.
Whoa, okay.
For me, I'm quite like political.
Okay.
So I follow Kim Iverson.
Okay.
It's on YouTube. It's a podcast. She talks about global conflicts.
Okay.
I used to watch, not so much anymore, but Democracy Now!
Yeah.
And I've recently started to, like, in a few months, go back to Canada and watch CBC just to get, in tune with what's happening in Canada. Because before I didn't. Like, I really was just like, I wasn't bitter. Maybe I was a little bitter with Canada. I was just like, I want to get out of this, like, society in a way, But then understanding that we're here, and as a Canadian, if I want to say I'm a Canadian, then I need to know what's up in Canada too, right?
Yeah.
So those are the 3 that I watch on YouTube in terms of getting my news.
For me, I'm self-help, reading, mental health.
Yeah.
So one channel on YouTube I like also happens to be Canadian but living in the Netherlands. It's called Pickup Lime. So she does a lot of just hacks or just support or ways to make life balanced.
Yeah.
I'm currently reading The Body Keeps the Score by Dr. Cole. It's just about trauma, mental health, and healing through trauma, more so for informing my practice. So I like to read, although, I'm currently doing one-on-one consultations, so I just like to keep up with readings and what's happening. And I just listen to a lot of music as well. So I don't have any one playlist or podcast, but I always like to have that in the background. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just Spotify.
Nice.
Thanks, Rika.
So if people want to get in touch with you or Global Friendship, where do they go? How can they get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, so we're like on Facebook, on Instagram, WeChat. And I mean, if you are in China, you can actually add us on WeChat, like personally. And we usually do like to talk to the people and let them know what's going on and how to guide them. That's
Global Friendship China on Instagram and Facebook.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
very much.